In 2024, we helped our clients generate well over 35 crore rupees in ads, as you can see all their wins, and we used 5 mental models to help them get this success. Now, this video is going to be extremely boring, I tell you this, and honestly, if you are an entrepreneur who is serious about your business, you can't even watch 20 minutes. Are you even serious about your business? I don't know. So honestly, you should watch those cute cat videos or naked girls in Instagram if you do not have the patience to watch this whole video. What I would really suggest, if you're really serious about this business, take out a pen and a paper, because the things that I'm going to show you are going to help you see your business like a war map. And I can guarantee you this, by the end of this video, you'll have the exact mental models, the frameworks that billionaires use, that you can use to grow your business. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. And special thanks to one of my friends, Deepak Pani, where he makes about $1 million a year. And we had this whole brainstorming session about what really made his business click. And he attributed a lot of his success to mental models. Now, the first mental model that we're going to talk about is called theory of constraints. Now, here's the thing. Every business goes through some or the other problem that stops their growth. All right. Now, the thing is, most founders, they try to solve all the problem all at once. Here's the thing. Usually there is this one problem which is the biggest, baddest of all of the others. For example, say your business is not generating enough leads and your salespeople are not closing at the level or the numbers that they should, and your personal brand is too small, so people don't know you, you have less case studies, so they don't trust you. Like I just mentioned 4 different problems. But out of all of this, if you simply could help your sales team perform better at sales and increase the lead flow, you'll probably make a lot more money than to create personal brand in the short term. Am I correct? So in this case, the major bottleneck of your business is probably your sales team's performance, and the second biggest is the flow of leads. So the moment you fix that first big bottleneck, your business grows by default. Now the key is to identify what's this key constraint that is stopping your business from growing. See, when you stop trying to improve everything all at once and focus on removing that bottleneck, you are just more focused. All your energy and effort just is focused on solving that one thing, and it just immediately boosts the kind of results you get. Now, it's easy to identify a constraint. You just have to look at what's happening in your business. But what if your business has a problem that you could see, but you have no idea how to solve? And that's what brings me to the second model, which is called as the first principle thinking. Now, first principle thinking is Elon Musk's favorite way of thinking. Now, this is something that gave rise to SpaceX and Tesla and all the other big companies that he runs. See, what most people do, most business owners do, is like they try to see what is working for other business owners. They try to model or copy what's working for other business owners and see whether those concepts fit into their own. In the previous model, I talked about the constraints. Let's say you identified your biggest constraint as sales. Now, ideally, what most people do is they start copying what your competitors are doing. They try to funnel hack every other competitor and see how they are selling and try to model that for that themselves. But the issue still remains, and it's very rare that an entrepreneur simply fixes a problem by copying others. So if you used first principle thinking, you broke down the entire sales process into multiple parts. You observe whether your salespeople are having the right tonality. You observe whether they're able to explain the product well. You observe whether they're able to probe the pain points well of your customers. And you figure out that, let's say, your salespeople are very well trained on a script where they probe, they ask really good questions, they pitch your product very well. It's just that the tonality just feels very robotic. Now, no amount of copying your customers will ever help you in tonality. If you just simply focus on fixing that tonality, or fixing the mental blocker that creates that tonality, you pretty much win. Now here, instead of copying other people, you go deeper into first principle thinking and solve that micro problem. And the moment you solve that micro problem, you immediately see a boost in numbers. Now, a friend of mine, he runs this digital marketing agency. So earlier he used to run this whole marketing agency where you do the social media posting, Facebook ads running, like every other marketing agency, that whatever they provide, right? He realized that Every Tom, Dick, and Harry who finishes digital marketing creates the marketing agencies and provides the services at half the cost of what they're providing. And this causes issues because now they are being undercut by other agencies. So he came up with a genius plan. He broke down his problem into first principle. He spoke to his clients and just asked, hey, what is the one reason why you are hiring us? The client says, hey, we just want brand awareness. Then he would go deeper. Why do you want brand awareness? The client said, well, if you have more brand awareness, we'll have more reach, and we have more reach, we have more trust, and we have more trust, we have more sales. Now, these guys, they say, oh, hey, you basically want more sales, right? The client says, yes. So what they did is they started dealing with them on revenue share basis. They completely changed their offer and they said, hey, you have a very high ticket offer worth 1 2 cr. Let us sell those for you. Let us do the marketing, let us do the sales, and you simply pay us commissions, but you just take care of the ad budget and we are good. Now for clients it became an irresistible offer, but for my friend it became a golden opportunity because they would sell one flat and make 18 lakh rupees. Now that's a fantastic ROI that other people have not gotten, and his competitors are way, way behind this particular offer. Nobody even has the guts to solve this particular offer, and because of which they are one of the biggest digital marketing agencies right now in my city. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. What if I told you that thinking backwards might actually help you move faster? This brings us to the third best model, which is called as the inversion thinking model. This is one of the best models that Charlie Munger and even Warren Buffett use. You see, most people have this whole thought process that there is a problem, they want to solve this, right? For example, say sales processes as an example, okay? If you had a issue with sales process, you normally think, hey, how do I have better sales? But inversion thinking says you just reverse the question and thinks, what are the things you absolutely need to do to murder your sales, like to absolutely like ruin your sales goals? What are the things that you absolutely need to do so that the customer hates you and never buys your product? And list all of them down. Do the opposite. Example, let's say you want to absolutely ruin your sales. What do you need to do? You need to speak to your customers rudely. You probably need to, be very, very pushy. You need to take a presentation and shove it up their ass and say, hey, this is what my product has to offer. You follow up with them so much, you feel extremely needy. You do not try to understand their problem, and instead of just selling the product, you do not follow a sales script. You do not sound human and you sound robot, which is just trained to sell the entire product. Now, let's reverse this. Let's start by asking great questions to the prospects so that they understand, we understand their business. And let's start by asking great questions that can actually uncover their pain. And then instead of just opening a presentation, what if we tailor made a proposal so that they feel that the solutions that we are offering are customized to them, right? And after the pitch has been made, what if we book the next meeting from this meeting itself so that we don't have to follow up? And even when we do a value driven follow up where we give them something of value. Every follow up is meaningful. And let's say prospect ghosts us. Instead of getting irritated, angry, and dialing them every single day, let's say we become humorous. Let's say we send them a meme so that they are happy, they laugh. It feels unconventional, but they reply back. By doing this, your sales simply improves because you just give a fantastic experience to your clients, right? No way your sales won't increase. So inversion thinking just tells you this. Whatever, think of all the reasons. Think of or list down all the things that you need to do to absolutely achieve the opposite of what you said to do. Instead of thinking of how do I grow my business, what are the things I need to do to absolutely murder my business? And just do the opposite of those and you'll be fine. And inversion thinking gives you this second perspective, which makes it easier to actually find out problems, because we as human beings are hardwired to find solutions to problems as opposed to solutions to problems which are more negative thinking approached as opposed to problems which are more desire based. Am I making sense? Right? But here's what really blew my mind. One of my clients actually predicted a very specific market change 6 months before it actually happened. And it was one of the most powerful thing I saw live. Now, this brings me to mental model number 4, called as second order thinking. You see, most people think one step ahead. Like this, the thinking, causes an effect. I take this step, I get this result. Let's say I spend more money on ads, I get more leads, right? But smart entrepreneurs, they think one step ahead. If I spend more money on ads and I get so much leads, what if the number of lead overwhelms the salespeople and we are not able to reach a lot of people? And because we are not able to reach all those number of people, what happens is they forget about us. All that ad money goes down the drain. That's called second order thinking. Thinking one step ahead, like basically an effect of the decision that you take. Am I making sense? Point is, you don't need to just visualize the immediate effect of the decision that you take, but actually the next immediate few effects of that one decision that you ever take. Now, this is called second order thinking. If that does not give you the result that you are aiming for, well, you change the decision. Simple as that. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say sales is your bottleneck and you need to hire like a really good salesperson. You found the best salesperson in the world. Now, there are two decisions in front of you. This salesperson is really good, but he's not a team player, right? You took that decision. You hired him. Initially, it was great. He was learning well. He started taking calls. He closed some of the deals, but he would not just fit well with the team. He started doing office politics. It brought down the morale of the rest of the sales team. And ultimately, what happened was the sales numbers were going down because of that one bad apple. Well, that is just one way of thinking how second order thinking could save your ass. Because now that you visualize what could happen or what could go wrong if you hired like a misfit or if you hired like a culture misfit, in your interview itself, you can go ahead and start looking for people who are culture fits, looking for people who are already aligned with your business. Now, here's what happened with one of my clients. Back in 2022, when GPT was not that big in demand or there was not a lot of hype about AI, this guy was obsessed with AI. He runs this IT firm in Hyderabad, and we had this whole talk. We had GPT-2 back then, and GPT-3 was about to launch. We had tools like Jasper, Copy.ai, and during those times, this guy was extremely obsessed with AI. And he started developing AI solutions back then in his business. You know what happens now? You see all these N8N, make.com tutorials. He would have built all of it back in 2022 alone. He started serving his clients on AI back then, which what it resulted is he built a client base with AI results so potent that he started getting clients now. He doesn't even have to show a portfolio. He already has a lot of clients lying around, which enabled him to get even more clients and built a very strong base. Now, this happened because the moment he saw AI, he knew that it's going to be a big thing because the second order consequences of AI was visible right in the beginning. And these brilliant entrepreneurs are the ones who end up becoming extremely rich. Now, the mental model that surprises me the most is called Occam's razor. The Occam's razor suggests that the simplest answer is most likely the correct one. And you'll be surprised how often this appears in your life and business. In business as well, majority of the business problems are very simple. Most people, most business owners just confuse themselves with too many variables and too many inputs. I'll give you an example. Say your ads stop performing tomorrow. They start fatiguing. You might think, oh, maybe the market situation is bad. Maybe, the Iran and Israel war is affecting India's business somehow. At the same time, your competitors are thriving. Majority of the time, the simplest answer is your ad just fatigued. You just need more creatives. If you just tested more creatives, you could probably like find a faster, quicker answer. And majority of the time, the answer is like your creatives suck. Maybe they worked for a while, but now your audience is very much used to seeing those creatives. Just test more. So let me give you an example of a client of mine. This client came to me and says, Jayant, in my niche, there are no high ticket buyers at all. I was like, how is that possible? Like it's absolutely not possible. So I came across this therapist who said that I'm a relationships counselor, and what I do is I help people who are separated get over that whole breakup thingy. All right. I was like, cool, that's a noble thing. So what's the issue? He says, people just don't pay me a lot of money. Now we looked at the target audience. They would help college kids who just went out of breakup, professionals who went out just came out of a breakup and want to heal themselves, or the married couple came out of a divorce. So without even looking at the data, I could see where his highest paying clients were lying on. So here's what I asked him. Bro, like, imagine, like, give me on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least painful and 10 being the most painful, tell me, where do these three scenarios fit in? Scenario number 1, a college couple who just, a college guy who just went out of a breakup and is now depressed and needs your help. 2, let's say a married couple, recently married 2 3 years, now they have been divorced and they need your help. Versus 3, a married couple of 20 years recently came out of marriage with a teenage or with 2 teenage kids. Where do you fit these three scenarios on a scale of 1 to 10? It's like, obviously the married couple with 20 years experience is like 10 on 10. I'm like, awesome. Now, go look into your data and tell me which kind of people were like your constant repeat customers. And lo and behold, we found the third category who has spent the most on him. I was like, this is the clientele that will pay you the money. The most, this is right there. It's the simplest answer. Like, which version of your client has the most amount of pain? If you could simply imagine that, you can instantly raise your prices, right? Most people don't do that because they don't use simple mental models like Occam's razor. And if you start using this, you'll start finding opportunities that will enable you to find such minute details in your target market that makes you stand out, that business suddenly becomes easy, and your competitors will start thinking that, what superpower does this guy have that I don't? Right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the most powerful things that I have heard. I think I would have been rambling for almost 20 minutes, 25 minutes. But here's my thing. I can teach you strategies, tactics all day. But what really matters in business is not the new tactic in the blog or the new tool or new AI system that you can use to like grow this. But what really matters is how you think through things. This is where mental models come in, right? And I hope this video, if you have watched till the end, I'm pretty sure you are one of those crazy entrepreneurs who knows how to think, who knows how important business is. And I hope this serves you the best. Thank you very much for watching. And if you like this kind of a video, I'll bring in more such videos talking about not mindset motivation stuff, but actual mental strategies that enable you to plan out your business like a war map. And if you're interested in all of those, subscribe to this channel and see you in my next video.